Summer is prime time for catfishing. Stick around. We're going to up your catfishing game starting right now. Let's start off with an understanding of the catfish's summer behavior. They're most active feeding in summer in low light conditions, early morning, late evening, and overnight especially. As the water temperature rises, catfish will retreat into deeper holes and channels, shaded spots, and near plenty of underwater structure like fallen trees, logs, and submerged vegetation. And then at night, they emerge into the shallows to become active hunters in the shallow flats, feeder streams, and sandbars. So knowing their summer habits is the first step to catfishing success. Here's a pro tip. You can buy a castable fish finder during the daytime to find the underwater ledges and deep holes where they hide out. We'll put a product link in the video in case you want to get one. Now's a good time to hit the like and subscribe button and enable your bell notifications so you always get our latest tips and tricks we post daily. Let's start with a deep dive into the world of the flathead catfish, also known as the solitary ambusher. Flatheads are indeed solitary, territorial predators that absolutely prefer large live bait if using live bait is legal where you live. A nice 7 to 8 inch bluegill, shad, and even a smaller bullhead or carp will work to catch them. And here's a great sneaky pro hack. If you slightly trim off part of the tail fin and hook them up front, it causes the bait fish to swim erratically, and that will attract flatheads in from afar to ambush their injured prey. And you have to be able to spot their lairs near tight structure, so cast near hollowed-out logs, fallen tree branches, and large submerged boulders. Flatheads love these tight spaces for their natural hideouts. And of all the catfish species, flatheads are mostly nocturnal and much more active feeding at night. So consider setting up for an overnight adventure if you ain't afraid of the dark. They'll most often be lurking in shallow mud flats after dark, and if you use a slip sinker rig weighted down with a 1 to 2 ounce sinker, you can present the bait just above the bottom, and you better hold on tight. Another great pro tip is to get a rod with a fluorescent tip, and they even sell glow-in-the-dark tape that'll make it much easier to spot any action in the dark. Next up, the biggest of the big, the blue catfish, the true river monster of the species. Blues are the heavyweights of the catfish world and known for their size and sheer power. The absolute best way to catch more and bigger blues is by using fresh, big chunks of cut bait fish. Skipjack herring, gizzard shad, and mullet chunks are simply irresistible to blue catfish in any water they lurk in. Fresh bait chunks in the 6 to 8 inch size work best. And here's a great pro hack. If you score the bait lightly with a knife first, this will maximize the scent dispersion when it hits the water. And to catch the biggest blues, you want to work the current, as blues will often station themselves near the base of dams and spillways, deep river bends, and deep channels where the current brings food and prey right to them. And if you're fishing a very deep lake or reservoir, you can catch them drift fishing with a 3-way drift rig and letting the boat move you slowly along a channel. This way it keeps your baits moving naturally through their prime feeding zones, and you can cover more area that way. And always remember that blue cats love ambush points, where stronger current meets slack water. This is always going to be a prime ambush spot. Now on to the most common of the catfish, the channel catfish, opportunistic bottom-feeding scavengers found in ponds, rivers, and lakes all over the world except for Antarctica. Channels are the bread and butter of summer fishing. They're abundant, aggressive, and fun to catch for beginners and pros alike. They get their money's worth in every catfish fight, especially when you land a bigger veteran. Scent is key to catching channels. They have thousands of taste buds scattered all over their body, and they use their whiskers or barbels to find food at night and in murky, muddy water. There are tons of baits that will catch channels depending on what body of water you're fishing. Some of the most proven baits that catch channels everywhere are chicken liver, live night crawler, shrimp, and cut bait pieces of bluegill, shad, or skipjack. And a real pro tip is to marinate your chicken liver in heavy garlic or strawberry or cherry Kool-Aid overnight to give the baits an extra punch of scent. And you can stuff your liver into a pair of pantyhose if using nylon is legal by you, so that it stays together well and allows you to cast out into the deepest holes in the pond or lake. And if all the baits you're using don't work to catch them where you've been in about 20 minutes or so, consider changing spots because they would have smelled it by now. Fish are always on the move and you need to be too. And one more really great sneaky pro hack is to add a rattling peg float to your rig. The extra noise and vibration will attract curious channels, especially in murky water when you're using the Santee Cooper rig. And last but certainly not least is the smallest of the freshwater catfish family, the bullhead. They may be the underdog of the family, but they offer nonstop action when they're biting, and they have an incredible bite-down clamp force like an alligator. Simple baits will catch bullheads like live night crawlers, shrimp, frozen cheese-filled hot dogs, and chicken liver work great. Bullheads like to bury themselves in the mud bottoms and love the slow-moving and stagnant water, especially near weeds and vegetation. They're also much more active feeding at nighttime like their larger flathead cousins. Here's another great pro hack. You can spice up any of these baits with a bit of anise oil, which gives the baits an extra scent boost and turns on the feeding real quick. And another really great secret hack to catch more bullheads is to stuff a bunch of wet canned dog food into pantyhose if nylon's legal again, and this will usually get them to investigate pretty quick. Okay, hopefully you're still with us and you've gotten lots of key tips, tricks, and secrets from this video you can use in your lake and pond. Let's cover some additional summer catfishing hacks that's going to give you a leg up on catching more cats by you. One of the most important things to do in the heat of summer is to keep your live bait lively and fresh. Do that by adding bags of sealed ice cubes to your live minnow bucket water and using frozen water bottles to your bait bucket if you're using live worms, who will just shrivel up and die in the hot sun if you don't. And always stay quiet when you're bank catfishing and approaching from shore. Catfish will feel the pressure changes and can easily be spooked by loud noises or excessive boat movement too. So whether you're chasing monster flatheads and blues or fun-sized channels and bullheads, all these tips and tricks and advanced hacks we've covered will give you the edge you need to catch more catfish this summer every time you're out on the water. Tight lines, my friends. Please make sure to subscribe, enable your bell notifications, and join our community of passionate anglers right now. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Please like this video, hit the subscribe button before you leave, and don't forget to enable your bell notifications so you never miss another great video coming your way.